Alright, and welcome back, guys. In the last video we finished up operators, and now we're going to get into some really cool stuff. This video, what we're going to do is cover an if statement. And guys, I want you to, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button and hit subscribe if you're not already subscribed to my channel, and hit the bell notification so that you are alerted when new videos come out. Okay. So let's jump into the if statement. First of all, make sure your servers are running. By this point, you should know how to do that. I'm going to kind of remind you for a few more videos, and then after that, I'm going to let you guys learn the hard way. But remember, to run PHP, your PHP server needs to be running. Okay, so let me just get my editor open here. And what I want to do is go to scripts, and let's just do a new file. And just call it if.php. And we'll open some PHP tags, skip down a few lines, and close some PHP tags. Okay, what is an if statement? Well, an if statement simply is, what if I had a bunch of code? Remember when I told you that code runs from the top down? But what if I had a block of code, and then I had another block of code after that that I only wanted to run if something else up here happened or was true? Okay, if that if it does happen, we'll run another block of code. So an if statement basically lets us wrap some code and make sure that something else is true before it runs it. Let me give you guys an example of this. Okay. So let's just at the top of our page here, let's echo out. We are learning about if statements. Okay, and we will go ahead and do a break tag there. Okay. So to look at this page, go back to the browser, and we're going to navigate to scripts/if.php, and you can see that it went ahead and put, we are learning about if statements. Okay, so this just happens no matter what. I can do a bunch of different lines. So let's see, I can copy this down a few times, and we can say the second line happened, and we put the third line happened. Okay, and of course all of this is going to print out to the screen because it does this line and then this one and then this one. But what if I didn't want necessarily the next amount of stuff to happen? Well, this is where an if statement comes in. And the way we write an if statement is we just type if, and then in parentheses, we put some sort of condition here. So for right now, I'm just going to put true. Okay? You wouldn't ever do that because that's stupid. You would normally have some sort of comparison going on here, and some logic. You would have comparison operators and logical operators inside of this. So the parenthesis part is your condition. So your condition happens in here. Then you're going to open and close curly braces, which are going to be on the right side next to your P key. Those two curly ones, not the straight ones, but the curly ones. Now, if this is true, then anything inside of this block right here will run and execute. So I'm going to do here, I'm going to say echo I'm in the if statement. Okay, and we will concatenate a break there as well. Alright, so let's refresh the page now, and you can see that that line ran. I'm in the if statement. Why did that run? It's because this is true. What if I would put this to false? If I put this to false, it's going to get here and it's going to evaluate this and say, hey, that's false, so it's not going to do anything inside of these curly braces. So that's how an if statement works. So if I refresh the page now, that goes away because it never ran this line of code. It just skipped from here to here. It's like, I don't care about anything in here. Never even processed it. Okay, so let's show you a little bit, maybe a little bit more of a practical thing that you can do. And let's just say favorite color is equal to red. And then we'll have an if statement, and we'll say, hey, if favorite color is equal to, and remember you have to do double equals, red, actually, you'll say green. So in this if statement, then we're going to echo out your favorite color is green. And I know this is kind of a stupid example, but I want to keep these as simple as possible. So what's going to happen here is favorite color is red. So when it gets to this if statement, it's going to say if favorite color is green, then do this. So if we refresh the page, we're not going to see that happen. Okay, it's not there. The other thing we can do is we can do multiple ifs, but what we can do is right here, let's just after this closing thing here, we can do an else statement. So what we can do is say, I want this stuff inside this brackets to run if this is true, but if this is not true, then I want to do something else. And the else thing, you just type else, and then you give it another opening and closing curly braces, and then now we'll echo your favorite color is not red. Okay, and we'll concatenate on some break tags here. Alright, refresh the page, and it says your favorite color is not red. But what would happen if I change favorite color here? Let's say favorite color equals red. Actually, right here, what I should have done to make more sense is say your favorite color is not green. Okay, because our if statement is checking if our favorite color is green, and if it's not, it's saying, hey, your favorite color is not green. So refresh. Now it says your favorite color is green because okay, I got this all crazy here. Let's keep this at green. Okay, so if I refresh, this is actually going to say your favorite color is not green. Alright, we're checking to see if their favorite color is green. But if I change this to green in the variable up here, then what will happen if I refresh, it says your favorite color is green. Okay, so it's doing this, all the stuff in here, because this evaluates to true. Else, it's going to do this. Okay, that is an if-else statement. This is how you execute one bit of code if something is true, and another bit of code if it's not true. You could even do something called an else if, and the way that works is, let's do one here that says if favorite car is equal to Chevy. So we need to set a variable above here, and we're going to give our favorite car. And I'm going to set that to an empty string. Okay, so in here, what we want to do is, let me copy that, paste it. So we're going to say if your favorite car is Chevy, we're going to say your favorite car is a Chevy. All right. Then what we can do is say else if, okay, this is an else if, we're going to say else if your favorite car rather, is equal to Ford, then we're going to echo boo, your favorite car is a Ford. I'm going to take away the boo. I actually like Fords. I actually like Chevys and Fords. I don't know, I just like working on cars and I like driving them. Actually, I hate driving, but I like how cars are made and I like working on them. But but I do not like driving in general. That's just a side note. That's nothing. And then we can say else, and we can echo out, I don't know your favorite kind of car. Okay? So let's try this. So let's just kind of read this before we see what happens. So we said our favorite car is equal to, and then we didn't put anything in there. Then we did an if statement, and we said, hey, if their favorite car is a Chevy, I want to echo out to the screen, your favorite car is Chevy. Else, if their favorite car is a Ford, I want to echo your favorite car is a Ford. Else, if neither one of these are true, it just keeps going down the line. If neither one of these is true, it's just going to say, hey, I don't know your favorite kind of car, which in this case, it's going to be that, okay? So let's try that. If I refresh, it says, I don't know your favorite kind of car. But let's change this now to Ford. We'll go back and refresh. And now it says your favorite car is a Ford. But if I change this to Chevy, refresh, it says your favorite car is Chevy. If I change this to, I don't know, something else like Tesla, it doesn't have a check for Tesla, so it's actually going to make it down here and say, I don't know your favorite kind of car. See? So guys, I hope that makes sense. This isn't a super practical way that we would use an if-else statement, but I'm just showing you the structure of an if-else statement, which will be if, and then you put in parentheses the condition, and then you put opening and closing brackets, and anything that evaluates to true will run inside of that bracket. So if this one runs, it will never get to these else statements. It'll skip all the way down here and start echoing out something else. Okay, it runs the rest of your code. Runs rest of code. So an if statement basically allows us to only run lines of code. You can put as many lines of code in these things as you want, guys. Not just one line. In our example, we did one line, but you could do many different lines of code here. But I just did one just to make these as simple as possible while you're learning. So PHP script will execute everything from the top to bottom until it gets to an if statement, and then it's going to evaluate a condition, and if that's true, it'll run what's in it, and then it continues on to the code after that, and it just keeps going down, and it'll skip what it needs to because of our if-else statements. And this is how we kind of tell our scripts, hey, run this bit of code, but don't run this bit of code. And then that's how websites and everything else become dynamic, is by doing these ifs and else ifs and things like that. So I hope that makes sense. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. In the next video, what we're going to do is show you a little bit of a different way to do some of this logic called a switch statement. But this is by far the most common thing you're going to see is an if statement. And you don't have to do an if-else. It just depends what you're trying to do. You can just do an if statement, and then everything after that will run. Okay? An else statement is going to be like, hey, if this is not true, then do the else. Okay? An else if is another check we can do to say, if this is not true, but this is true, then do this. Okay? That's another way to look at that. So just read that code. And the other thing I forgot to do is we need to throw this into our pages. So go ahead and open that up. So pages, and we're going to right click and duplicate on our template.php, and I'm just going to call that if.php. And up here we're going to do if statements, and if statements allow us to run code only if a condition is met. Okay? And then let's go and grab the correct link for this. So I'm going to go to php.net. I'm going to search for if, and here is the if manual. So I'm going to hit copy that and go back here And I'm going to replace this href to take us to there. And then here I'm going to change this to if. Also, this echo.php will change to if.php. And then the results, we're going to change that to if.php. You guys can add some notes here, and then go ahead and do your video embed code. So click on the share right below this video and go to embed and click copy, and then copy and replace this line of code right here. And then what we need to do is add it to our menu. So open up menu.php, and then you're just going to copy the last li list here, go down one line, paste it, and then everywhere where it says operators.php, replace that with if. And then right here, put that as if statements. Okay, so that is an if statement, and let's go back to the front end, make sure it looks good. Kind of go back to their home page here, and now we have home, echo, variables, operators, if statements. So let's click on that, and we can see our source code here. We can see what the results of that are, and let's see. You got your video and your notes, and let's see. It looks like something's wrong. Let's see what I did here. Code label. I just want to check the CSS file here because those code labels aren't showing up. I don't know why. So go down to code label. So well, it's all the pages. So I'll look at this on my own time and figure out why these little label things aren't showing up here. They should have above here those labels. Anyhow, I'll fix that, and I'll show you guys what I did to fix that. So let me pause the video and figure that out real quick, and I'll be right back. Alright, so the problem is we actually gave the code thing an overflow X of auto, and that overflow is breaking this. So what I've done is I'm added to the CSS file a code, and then in that we're going to tell it that a div has a height of 100%, and that has the overflow X of auto. So I removed overflow X of auto from the code and added an additional div in here. So what we have to do is go into all of your pages and actually just wrap a div around these. So let's just do one together, and then you can do them on the rest of your pages. So I'm going to do the template. So right here we have code, and then this is the script that overflows. So go ahead and put a div here, and then on the other side of that put a closing div, and then what we'll do is just do that, and then you do the same thing for the results. Okay, and we'll do the same thing for notes. So right now I'm just opening and closing div tags, and then go inside those div tags, hit enter, and then just copy or cut that and paste it there, and then do the same thing with your notes. Go ahead and hit enter and cut and paste that there. Alright, so then that takes care of the template. So then what happens is, if you look now, if you've done the CSS the way I told you, if you look at your other pages you haven't done yet, they overflow. And so, oops, guys, what will happen here is I will actually, I'm going to go ahead and change all these files. And so if you look in the description, you'll see the full source code. So if you'd like to re-download the source code, you can do so. If not, just do what we just did for each one of the pages, and most importantly the template page, and then from then on we'll be good. So don't skip this step. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video.